Welcome to Halachot Niddah. This will be part 25 of the class. Today's topic, relations with elderly women. Rav David Yosef Shutan, the Sefer Taharat Habayit, is going to discuss a halacha pertaining to women that have already stopped seeing their period. Do they have to still be concerned for the vestot that they used to see before they stopped seeing their period? Isha Zekena, if you have an elderly woman, she'avru alecha shalosha onot benoniot, that passed over her 3 average onot. We know that an average onah is 30 days. 30 times 3 is going to give me 90. That's why Rav David Yosef Shlita says, Shem Tishim Yom, which are 90 days. So what is Rav David Yosef telling us? If you have an elderly woman that 90 days has passed, Mishehizikna, from the time that she aged, V'lo ra'at adam, and she did not see blood, Harezo bechesket misulek damim, she's considered to be in the status quo or in the assumption that she's removed from blood. She will no longer see blood. Shechadal liyot la orach nashim, she ceased to be like the regular woman. A regular woman, she sees once a month, at least once a month. But this woman, she no longer sees. That's what he says here. She already stopped seeing the way women see. Even if this woman had prior to this, she had a established cycle. Nevertheless, she does not have to be concerned for the veset. And the husband is allowed to sleep with her even at the time of the veset. Now, Rabotai, let me try to go ahead and say this halakha outside. All Rav David Yosef Shutai is telling us is like this. Once a woman ages and she doesn't see for 90 days straight blood, which is 3 average onot, we're going to say she's in the status quo that she's no longer going to see blood. Now, when it comes to day 91, day 92, and so on and so forth, the husband is allowed to have relations with her without a problem. Oh, you're going to say, Rabbi, but what if one of those days is the Veset Kavud that she had prior to the 3 months? We're going to say she doesn't have to be afraid of it, and the husband is allowed to sleep with her on that day. If this was a regular girl and her Veset came, we're going to tell the husband, you can't sleep with her. Because, right, she has to make sure she doesn't see any blood. But since this woman is Misuleki Damim, since we have a chazakah, since we have an assumption that she's no longer going to see blood, we're going to tell, let the veset come, meaning let the anticipated time of the blood come. It doesn't matter. Once 3 months pass, once 90 days have passed, we say that she's not going to see. So even if it's the veset kavua, it doesn't matter what's going to come, it doesn't matter. Bottom line, we're going to tell you the husband's allowed to sleep with his wife every single day, and he doesn't have to be concerned. Maybe she's going to get a period, or maybe the blood's going to come. No, there's no concern. If it's not coming, I don't have to be concerned about it. That's what he's telling us over here. Now, we said on top, we said over here, right? Isha Zekena, we said right over here that an elderly woman, that once you had 90 days that passed over her, we said, right, from once she already aged, from once she already became old, and she doesn't see blood. Okay, you could have, sometimes I get these questions, a woman says, Rabbi, I haven't seen blood for some time now, and she's not pregnant. So does it mean that she's Misulek Damim? No. She has to be an aged woman. It cannot be a young girl. What's considered to be an aged woman? So Rav David Yosef Shlita defines that for us right over here, and he says like this. An elderly woman in regards to this halakha is called Kol shekorim la savta savta. As long as we're going to call her grandmother, when her children or somebody's going to call her grandmother, ve'ena makpedet, and she's not particular about it. Now, Rabotai, you should know it's an offense. If you go right now to a young girl, excuse me, let's say you go to a 30-year-old girl, 35-year-old girl, 40-year-old girl, and you call her, hey grandma, if she feels offended, this halacha does not apply to her. This halacha does not apply to her. When are we going to say that this halacha applies? That is anyone that's going to go out and call her right now, grandma, she's not going to get offended. Beautiful. Once she's not offended and 90 days has passed and she hasn't seen blood, now we're going to tell the husband, you are allowed to have relations with her and you do not have to be concerned for any vesset whatsoever. So bottom line, Rabotai, we see over here, an elderly woman is a woman that when you call her grandmother, she does not get upset. She's not particular about it. Once she's not particular about it, now she doesn't see for 90 days straight blood, we tell the husband, you have the green light to always be with your wife. However, comes Rav David Yosef and he says, so what happens if she'll see? Okay, I'm happy she didn't see 90 days. Let's say on day 150 she actually saw. Now what? So he says, V'im, and if achar kach hazra v'ra'at adam, if afterwards she went back and she actually saw blood, afa pishi temei nida, even though she is in nida, she's 100% impure, nevertheless, Rabboisai, eina chosheshet lifrosh mebayla bechodesh haba. She doesn't have to be concerned to separate from her husband in the following month. Because remember, she has a chazaka. The chazaka is stronger. The assumption that she's removed from blood is stronger from this. That's what he says over here. Sheyesh lomar, because one can say, mikru, it was only an occurrence. It just happened, out of the blue. I don't know where it came from. Because whenever you have a chazaka, it's stronger than anything. So therefore he says, sheyesh lomar mikru, we can say it's only an occurrence. It just happened. So therefore, if a woman after not seeing 90 days, where we give the husband the green light and he doesn't have to be concerned for any vesset, let's say afterwards she sees, good, she's tummy, we'll see, you're not allowed to sleep with her, but after she goes to the mikveh, after she does the Niddah days, the Hefsek Tahara, the Shivnikim days, and she goes to the mikveh, afterwards you're going to tell the husband, you once again have the green light. You don't have to be concerned, since it's only an occurrence. However, he says, listen to this, Rabotai. Aval, what happens, however, im chazra v'ra'ata shalosh pamim. What happens if this woman, that we assumed initially that she was misuleket damim, she was removed from blood, she went back and she saw 3 times. Alright? One time she saw, the husband separated, she went to the mikvah. Again she saw, the husband separated, she went to the mikvah. Again a 3rd time she saw, the husband separated, she went to the mikvah. Oh, now we have a problem. So now you have 3 times, three consecutive times. That's another chazaka. So now a chazaka that says she's going to see. So therefore we're going to tell the husband, tzarich, now the husband, tzarich ba'ala, lifrosh memena be'onas mukhalavesa. Now the husband has to separate from her next month when the anticipating period is supposed to come. Now he has the same laws like anyone else. So basically it comes from David Yosef and he tells us that if you have a woman who's misoleket damim again, Rabotai, means she's removed from blood. If you have a woman who's misoleket damim for 90 days, and she's that type of woman that when you call her grandmother, she's not particular about it, we're going to give the husband a green light. Rabbi, what happens if she sees after 90 days, 1 time, 2 times, we're not particular about it, we're still going to tell the husband, listen, she's tummy, you got to stay away from her, let her go to the mikvah, but after that you have the green light. And we're going to say it's only an occurrence. However, when it happens 3 times, 1, 2, 3, over there we're going to tell the husband, he has all the laws like any other guy would have, and he has to start now being concerned for her previous Vesta, and he has to stay where he's not allowed to have relations. Again, she has to now stop seeing again for 90 days in order for him to have a complete green light. Concludes Rav David Yosef and he says, all this that we just said, that's in regards to when he has to separate from her. However, when it comes to her being a nidah, when she's impure, pashut, it's simple. If you have an elderly woman that saw blood, or afilu kedem, or even if she saw a stain, shehi temei nida, that she is tamei nida, meaning to say, don't think just because a woman who actually went ahead and she stopped seeing blood for 90 days, and we gave you the green light to be with her, don't think next time around when she sees the blood, or even if she sees a stain, which impurifies her, don't think that doesn't mean nothing, it's only occurrence. No. When are we going to say it's only an occurrence? That's in regards to the laws of separating from her. You don't have to separate from her the following month. However, when it comes to a nida state, she's 100% a nida. You have to stay away from her. Bottom line, what Rav David Yosef Shlita is telling us is like this. An elderly woman, even though she wasn't seeing for 90 days straight, let's say she saw on day 150, or she even had a stain on day 150. Doesn't matter. Once she became impure, we tell the husband, you're not allowed to touch her, no kiss her, no having relations, nothing. She has to count the nida days. She has to count the 7 clean days. Must do the hefsek tahara. She must do the bidikot, the check-ins during the 7 clean days. And then at night she has to go to the mikvah. And afterwards we're going to tell the husband he has the green light to go ahead and be with her. Okay, Rabotai, summary. An older woman who has not seen menstrual blood for 3 regular cycles, which is 90 days, after she became elderly, is considered to have stopped seeing blood. That's called Misulek Damim. Even if she used to have a fixed period, she no longer needs to worry about it and is permitted to her husband even at her old cycle time. A Zekena, an elderly woman for this law, is one whom people call grandmother and she's not particular about it. Right? This one we said over here. Right? An older woman who has not seen menstrual blood for 3 cycles, after she became elderly, is considered to have stopped seeing blood. When is this, Rabotai? This is the woman right here. An elderly woman for this law is one whom people call grandmother, and she is not particular about it. Then we're going to tell you that the 90-day rule applies to her. Nevertheless, we explained if she later sees blood once, she is impure as a nida, but does not need to separate from her husband at that time the next month, because it may have been just a random occurrence. However, if she sees blood 3 times again, her husband must separate from her during the expected time. And Rabotai, like we did explain in the last piece, I should have put that also right over in the last piece. And regarding the halachot of Niddah, once she is a nida, something, let me write it. I don't want people making this mistake. Let me write this down 1 second. Once she is a nida, right? Once she is a nida, all the laws of impurity apply to her, meaning the husband must separate from her and she must count nida days. But I'm not telling you how many it is because there's an argument if it's 4 or 5, sometimes it could even be 6, 7. It's a machloket, nevertheless, that's why I'm not counting. She must count the nida days. After that, she has to do a hefsek She has to do hefsek tahara. That's the bidika kol that she puts inside. Then she has to count 7 clean days. Right? In each one of the days, she must check herself. Okay. So Rabotai, like this. Let's just do this very important halakha. Once she is a nida, all the laws of impurity apply to her. Meaning, the husband must separate from her, and she must count nida days. Hefzik tahara. Then she counts 7 clean days. And in each of one of the days, in the clean days, she must check herself. And then on the night, she goes to the mikvah and she's permitted to the husband. Rabotai, have a great day. Baruch Adonai L'olam.